and talk about the next stock. And Kunal, you picked out HDFC Life for us. What are the indications on the charts for this one? Should we expect a run up, or maybe it's time for some consolidation here?
If you look at all the insurance companies, they have really done pretty good in the recent times, and HDFC Life Insurance has also done really good. It started rallying from almost 450 levels, and right now it's trading at 575. But in fact, now it's a new breakout on the chart. If you look at the previous swing high, that was at around 580. Today, in today's session, counter actually made a high of 588, and right now it's trading at 578. So it's a conditional call. If the counter closes above 585 decisively, I think there is more steam on the higher side. I think the counter can go up to at least 620, and post that we can see even 660. But just waiting for the closing above 580. So keep a watch on it. Above 580 closing, one can initiate a buy. The stop loss for this will be 550.
On and talk about Valiant Organics on the charts, Kunal. This one has not done anything for the longest period of time except just giving negative returns to an investor. So when you look at it now, in the last 1 month, surely we are seeing a pickup coming in. Last 1 week also, just look at the run up, 24%. What are the indications on the chart? Finally a turnaround for the stock.
So yes, we had discussed about the entire RT group actually in the past also, and I had highlighted Valiant Organics near to 480 mark during the month of mid of April. The only reason for that was the first time it was making a higher top, higher bottom formation after prolonged downtrend. What we could see now is the massive decline which started from somewhere from October 2021 is now coming to an end. The counter gave a decisive breakout. It's a cup and handle formation on the daily chart. In fact, today's trade also it's trading up by around 6%. Yes, this is a confirmed reversal as of now. One can initiate a buy right now. One can accumulate if the counter declines to 550. The positional stop loss of this counter is going to be 530. I think now this is a complete turnaround story. One can hold it for a longer period of time. I am seeing the counter reaching 725, 730 mark in next 1.5 month time.
Alright, moving on, Ashesha, let's talk about
Tata Steel on the charts. And Kunal, currently at 108, is it still an attractive buy?
Absolutely. Again, a perfect inverse head and shoulder formation on the daily chart. It bounced right from the extreme lows of 104, where the 5 to 6 months long trend line is being offered as a support. Now the counter is trading at 108.7. It's a wonderful buy. Stop loss will be 105. I think this counter can now show us 117 to 18. But definitely will revisit. I think this counter is heading for a new symmetrical breakout. The positional targets are set as 135, but for time being, the first target is 118 to watch out for.
Okay, 118 is the first target that one should keep an eye out on for Tata Steel. Let's move on and talk about Nalco, Kunal, on the chart. So what are the indications for this one now? Last 6 months surely started seeing and picking up that pace. Is that here to stay?
Absolutely. Again, we just go back to the historical data. June 2022, the counter made a high of around 85, 86, and since then, it was in the sideways consolidation. What we are seeing right now is the massive volume activity right on the extreme low end of it. Counter recovered from the extreme lows of 69.70, right now trading at again 85.86. So again, it's a conditional call. It's on the verge of breakout with solid volumes also. Wait for the counter to close above 86 for a day. I think one can initiate a buy above 86. Stop loss in that case will be 83, and this counter can then show us the levels of 95. It's a positional trade, so one need to keep an eye on accumulating even on the declines.
a positional trade coming in for Nalco. 95 rupees is the target that Kunal is envisaging for this one. But let's talk about BHEL then. How is this one looking on the charts? Because yes, there's a time when this one featured on everyone's buy list. But now do you think that enthusiasm is done?
No, I think now the beginning of a new rally from here. The reason being the first rally which we saw was on the 3rd of May when the counter went up by almost 6.5% and hit the high of around 87. Since then, the counter was in sideways consolidation, forming the symmetrical triangle. Post numbers, that's today's session, morning it was down by around 1.5%, and right now it's trading by 5% gain, and it's trading right near to the high of the day. I think this is a new breakout. One can start accumulating the counter even from the present level. The stop loss on this will be 81. I think the target can be set as now 90 and 92. We'll revisit the target again once it reaches those levels, but now we remain optimistic on BHEL.
keeping an eye out on PHEL. Let's pick up ICICI Prudential Life for us. Today it's gaining around almost 3.5% in trade. But in the last 6 months, when you look at it, it has not done anything. Last 6 months, last 1 year, last 2 years, just negative returns. What is the indication now for this one? Finally an up move or maybe some bit more of a consolidation?
So absolutely, it was actually in the downtrend from September 2022 so far. The first breakout was witnessed on April 12th, April 2023, and where we saw the counter coming out of that entire downtrend consolidation. And now, since then, the counter entered into sideways consolidation. Today is the day where the counter has given the breakout of that sideways consolidation also, and it's trading at 461. It's the beginning of a new rally. We in technicals give a lot of importance to higher top, higher bottom formation. Here is the first higher top after making a higher bottom formation. So yes, one can accumulate this counter right now. One can start buying even on decline. The stop loss on this counter will be 440. I think now this counter can show us 525 to 530 mark in the time to come.
All right, so that's the take coming in on ICICI Pru. But
move on and talk about Tata Power, Kunal. What are the charts indicating for this one?
So the formation of the Tata Power is just same as ICICI Prudential, which we discussed just now. The counter was in complete downtrend formation. There was a false breakdown below 190. Counter made a bottom at around 180, and from there it has recovered very sharply. And what I can see on the chart is since December 2022 so far, it was in the sideways consolidation with a barrier of around 213.14. Just now it has given the breakout of that 215 mark. It's trading at 216. It's up by around 1.5% in today's trade, and the volumes are extremely high. Keeping that in mind, I think one can now start buying Tata Power. Stop loss will be 210. I think this counter can now show us 235 to 240 mark very soon.
oh, 235 to 240 mark very soon for Tata Power is what Kunal is saying. But
India Bulls Housing Finance, and obviously, Kunal, in the last 1 year approximately, you see it reached 158, and from that it's fallen to 117 levels as of now. What are the charts indicating for this one? How fast can we expect a run up, or are we expecting a run up actually there?
Rightly said, came down extremely from those 160 levels to extreme low end of around 92. And since Feb 2023, it's in the sideways consolidation. And if you look at the resistance, this counter has failed to surpass, in fact, the high of 115 for last 5 to 6 months. In today's trade, you can see the high was around 122.70. There was with the extreme volume on the chart, and it seems to be the first breakout of this entire downtrend. So yes, one can keep an eye on it. The conditional call here is to buy if the closing is above 120 with a stop loss of 110. I think now if the counter sustains above 120, it can show us 135, 140 mark very soon.
right, let's shift